Anyway, you guys are in civil service students totally. Come on, two people. Good chat. One more.
I'm not come prepared.
It's your view. You can manage it.
Anyone come prepared? Yes, no, then I'll say it.
I also am not come prepared. I think for first time.
On Delhi pollution or
Delhi air pollution. I'm sure you guys read a lot about it, right? Because it's been in the news for more than a month.
Sir, what according to you are the geographical and climatic reasons for Delhi pollution?
Ma'am, as far as I know, this climatic reason, the main climatic reason is that there is a clash of airs from the east part of the country and the west part of the country. For example, this east part of the country and west part of the country. For example, this air comes from the east and air comes from the west, and they clash at the Delhi. So sometimes the wind, especially in the month of November and December, winds doesn't blow. So that is the main thing.
Geographical.
Geographic reason. Sorry, I'm not aware.
I think I'm not sure, but I think it's just because it's not closer to the sea, so wind from the sea or doesn't come and flows the air from there. So that might be the reason. I'm not sure.
Sir, apart from the climatic reason, apart from wind speed, you can talk about the mixing layer, highlands and mixing layer, and also geographical. Delhi is in between; it's trapped between higher elevation areas, which restricts the movement of the air.
Also, you can talk about the urban heat highway. This is Delhi generates a lot of heat, so there is a low pressure over here. So winds blow from high pressure to low pressure, and the stubble burning, the smoke that is generated from stubble burning, due to the winds coming to Delhi, that smoke comes to Delhi. So Delhi air gets polluted.
Since the last 2-3 years in winters, the Delhi government adopts an odd even scheme. What is your opinion? Is it working to curb the pollution?
Odd even scheme was adopted by the Delhi government after it was a success in Paris and some states in China, Beijing particularly. It was expected that since less of vehicles will ply and people will move on to sharing of vehicles, then since less vehicles will ply on the road, then of course the pollution will go down. To some extent, it has been beneficial and it has solved the issue, but as the government claims, but largely since we are just not addressing the root cause and more vehicles are plying on the road, every single day we see that the daylights, they have more of vehicles. Since a family owns 3 or 4 vehicles, so they have kind of come up with an alternative of the odd even scheme. So that is one of the reasons. Having said that, pollution in Delhi is also from transport cargo that comes into that comes into the state. So that is the other reason. Other than that, other alternatives other than odd even scheme that should have been tried by the government. That could also work.
Sir, I just want to add that odd even scheme is for the emergency. It's not a means panacea for everything that it will curb the air pollution. The thing is that the plant should be from for the whole year. It's not that it comes the winters, come the Diwali, and then you step up to control the air pollution. It has to be a very comprehensive plan, very planned plan. So means it should be the emergency measure, but it's not a complete solution. You have to do so.
Sir, as you rightly said that there has been ad hocism in catering to the problem of pollution. So what according to you should be the year-long practice individually as well as from the government side so that we can tackle the problem of pollution?
Ma'am, one thing that has been said by the Supreme Court that the holistic measures should be taken, and it has been taken in the form of the graded response action plan, I think. And the other thing is that it is not only the responsibility of the Delhi that the Delhi pollution should be lowered. It is also the responsibility of the other states, and the central government should be stepping to coordinate the measures of the other states to control the Delhi pollution. And also they can use the technological solutions.
Can you tell about the graded steps that come under graded response action?
I'm not very sure.
There are actually 4 stages in it, and depending upon the particular ppm level, this stage kicks in. In the very first phase, the power plant that we have that is shut down, and then we have the notice and advisories to the eateries who are using the coal for making their food, and such other steps are being taken. So depending on the ppm level, the graded response action plan kicks in different stages.
Government of Delhi blaming the Haryana and Punjab for Delhi air pollution. Is it only the stubble burning that is responsible for Delhi pollution, or there is anything else?
For any problem, there is just not a single cause. There are multiple causes for Delhi pollution. Also, there are multiple causes. If you see the stubble burning, that of course is an issue, but blaming the stubble burning entirely for that's far-fetched, because we have problems of burning crackers in the winters. That's also contributing to it. Throughout the year, we have movement of traffic, we have pollution from industries, we have pollution from vehicular emissions and all. So actually in November or in the winter season, what happens that a mix of all these factors contribute towards the increase in pollution and not just dust.
Despite having so many steps taken by the government of Delhi and the High Court and Supreme Court of India, then why Delhi is one of being the biggest polluted city in the world?
I think we have answered in the first question in the form of climatic and geographic reasons, and also these there are
So there is only geographical and climatic.
no, there are also anthropogenic reasons. I'm not saying that only the natural reasons are there. There are of course the anthropogenic reasons in the form of this vehicular pollution, in the form of this stubble burning, and all these things.
Okay, you are saying the geographic and climatic region are the one of the factors in the polluted city. So what about nearby city like Faridabad, Alwar, Jaipur? They also share the same geographical and climatic feature.
Means Faridabad has almost the same level of pollution as Delhi has. It
It's
has
not
not
the air pollution, it's the water pollution that are there like.
Okay, sorry, I'm not aware of that.
Gurugram, I think, is the world's most polluted city, and if you see the ppm level of the Faridabad, then it's also quite high. But government has become more vigilant since citizens are now becoming more aware. So for the past 5 or 6 years, we have been seeing that the concerted effort have been taken in this regard, and the results, I think, it takes a bit of time to come. Like in Beijing also, the air pollution was not alleviated in just a matter of 2-3 years. So it takes time, and with time and more of technological intervention and everything, we can easily expect Delhi to be a clean.
There is an NGO report. There is an NGO report which says that odd even is catering only 5%, providing 5% of the solution for air pollution in Delhi. And it is creating problem to so many number of people, this odd even scheme. Do you think when it is not able to cater to solve the air pollution problem in Delhi and creating problem for so many people, don't you think we should abandon such kind of a scheme? Why is it still needed? What is its use?
That is why it is because of this disadvantages of odd even scheme. It's not it's just a temporary measure in order to tackle to the pollution. The government resorts only to this odd even scheme only for just 10 to 15 days at max, and then everything reverts back to normal. So it's not it's just a temporary solution, and as far as the long-term solution is concerned, stubble burning, reducing vehicular emissions through electric vehicles and all has to be taken into consideration.
Air pollution in Delhi 10 years, 15 years back was not as high as it is today. So why do you think it is as high as it is today?
The geography was still the same, right?
In the last 10 to 15 years, we have seen a spurt in the number of passenger vehicles, the movement of traffic and all. So because of that, that has been the biggest contributor to that. Other than that, we have the culture of bursting crackers that 10 or 15 years back, we were not that much bursting crackers almost on every occasion. Now, let there be any occasion, we resort to bursting of crackers and all. So that is all cutting pollution.
Any reason do you see states like Punjab and Haryana, any law?
Stubble burning.
Yeah, it's related to stubble burning, any law introduced in Punjab and Haryana which contributed to this?
I'm not sure of that.
Okay, Punjab Conservation of Supply Land. So,
Actually, they have
it advanced the sowing of.
we have advanced the sowing of the kharif crop in the region to so that there can be 3 growing periods, kharif, rabi and zaid, and also they can have so that these crops can grow at the time of monsoon.
So there's less gap between the.
So there is less gap between the kharif and rabi crop, so farmers resort to stubble burning, which was not done previously.
It was introduced in 2009. In Punjab, it was in that year, and later Haryana also.
So what has changed in a decade is the number of vehicles that have come into Delhi, and also people, farmers in Punjab and Haryana resorting to mechanical harvesters. So mechanized harvesting plus the number of vehicles now has increasing.
What is particulate matter? What is particulate matter?
Particulate matters are particles having size below, let's say 5 nanometer and 10 nanometer. Basically, there are two sizes, 2.5 nanometer and 10 nanometer, PM 2.5 and PM 10. So these are particulate matters. These are actually, they can be parts or sizes of anything. They can come out of a manufacturing process as a wastage, and they can be from coal power plants as the gases, as the flue gases, and they can be dust particles also. So there is a whole lot of places from which these small sized particles can come out and can make their negative consequences felt on the environment. And so
What is the difference between PM1, PM2.5 and PM10?
it's basically the size. PM1 is 1 nanometer, PM2.5 is 2.5 nanometer, and PM10. So PM2.5 and PM10 are the most harmful because once they enter into the lungs of the person, they stay over there and they can cause problems related to heart.
Among the three, which is more detrimental? Among the three, PM1, PM2.5 and PM10, which is more harmful?
So, the lesser the size, I think that would be harmful, but I'm not sure of it. The PM2.5 is more harmful than PM10 that I know of.
Sir, you mentioned that odd even scheme is a temporary measure being taken now for 10 to 15 days. So what is your opinion in making it year through practice when we have provisions such as women drivers will be allowed or vans of having children will be allowed irrespective of the odd or even number? So why not have it a year-long practice rather than just having a 10 to 15 day practice?
Actually, there are multiple facets involved in taking any decisions. Allowing women drivers to drive the car is because for us to promote that women empowerment, we are doing for women empowerment. That's a political.
No, but we have public transportation network, even at least in Delhi. So when we have all these provisions, what are the real hurdles that are there in implementing the ordinance to our way? That we move better.
So it would be like we are everyone we will be allowing that everyone should have 2 cars, and we will be kind of promoting this kind of tendency that is already existing in Delhi. So that way we won't be addressing the number of vehicles that would be actually plying on the roads, because every family will have 2 cars and they can easily manage with that. So the people, they will also, other than going along with someone or going in groups, they can buy 2 cars and throughout the year they can manage it.
So, yeah, that is what I'm asking. So I didn't support, because pooling cars is a good idea. They can manage. But one person having 2 cars with the same order, even that is a wrong practice.
Also, it was seen that the air quality index decreased. There was a drastic decrease in the air quality index after the ordinance scheme was implemented. So, ordinance scheme has better results in terms of air quality index. What the air quality index is. So, what is your take in the immediate steps? Like in the case of Delhi, where air quality index goes above 1,000, which is very harmful for the public, like, and given that the Supreme Court has declared right to clean air as a fundamental right, don't you think that ordinance scheme should be the law, should be implemented?
See, while implementing such a scheme, we should also take into consideration social cost. The people who are comparatively well off, they can afford 2 cars and all, they can easily manage this ordinance scheme. But families who own just 1 car, they will have to bear the brunt of it. The poor people, suppose someone has to go to some office.
Affording 2 cars is a flaw. It's a flaw. If you can afford 2 cars, it will not meet
Serve the purpose.
it will not serve the purpose of the scheme.
That is what exactly I am saying, that for every section of society, middle class and the upper class, there should be different set of rules, or we can come up with different alternatives.
Actually, there is a limit for the mass action. You cannot sustain mass action for a long duration. You have to stop somewhere else. Mass action, like people participate on the road, task basically.
But don't you think when we have it, people will come up with innovative so if people are put into a certain situation, human potential allows for innovative ideas to move ahead.
That is what I am saying, that for different level of society, that different people at different economic level in society, there should be different alternatives rather than just ordering for.
And poor people don't even use vehicles in normal days, they don't have a vehicle.
So rather than that, we can go for electric vehicles rather than ordinary. That would be a better option. So in the time to come, we will go for more better alternatives. So it was just a short-term measure in order to address the problem of pollution.
See, one thing which people I think are missing regarding this rising pollution, you have been talking about climatic and geographical factors only. I think there is a changing lifestyle and rising urbanization problem as well. Big buildings which have been coming up in metros, congestion which is rising. That is also one of the reasons for rising air pollution in Delhi.
Construction.
Yeah, the urban heat island is there.
What is EPAC? What is EPAC?
EPC.
Sorry, EPC. Yeah, EPC.
I think Environment Pollution Control Authority is the department which is provided with the authority to implement the GREP, Graded Response Action Plan. So it has like 16 departments who are working under it, and it is a coordinating body of the 16 departments who are to implement the Graded Response Action Plan.
What is your opinion on smog towers? Smog tower.
Smog tower. I'm just aware that the smog towers have been installed in Beijing for catering to the pollution in Beijing. I'm not sure what exactly in technical terms it does, so I don't have much idea.
What is your opinion on this oxygen labs, oxygen centers coming in.
I'll take a moment to think on this. These oxygen centers that are coming with, they are kind of providing good oxygen, quality education, quality air or oxygen that they are claiming. The oxygen that they are providing is mixed with some scent and all, so that the oxygen that they consume is quite good also to smell and all. But as far as the health benefits are concerned, the oxygen that we are getting is in these centers, they have more of ill effects because of the mixed liquids and all, the fragrance and all. So I don't think it's a good alternative, but as long as something which is palliating to the mind, that thinking that okay, this is quality education, quality oxygen. So people are buying the idea, but over the time, when people get to understand that it's not beneficial for the health, these oxygen centers will be long gone. So it's just temporary that these are coming up or cropping up. So
What
in
about
times to come-
equality? Not all can afford oxygen parlors.
Exactly, but the thing is, they have health effects. So somewhere down the line, these centers are bound to.
Aren't these turning our attention away from the real and the root cause, actual problems which have been going on? This is
Rather than addressing the issue, we are.
So there were reports that during the last bout of pollution in November, some high-ranking public authorities spent lakhs on buying air purifiers for their offices. Do you think it was ethical on their part to do that? To spend from public exchequer to buy air purifiers for their offices?
Though I am not aware of the issue, but as far as spending public exchequer to meet personal needs, I think that is unethical.
No, so for example, if you are an officer and the air pollution gets really bad, would you spend the department budget to buy an air purifier for your office? For the office, so it's not a personal.
I will not do that because when that would be biasness on my part. For meeting my needs, I am just using the exchequer. So I won't do it.
It should not be at the discretion. I think if there are government measures, then of course you can.
An entire economy has developed around the issue of air pollution, be it air purifiers or mask industry, or for example, these oxygen parlors. So, do you see any vested interest among people to continue with the air pollution, the business as usual, so as to for the economy of this portion of economy to sustain?
It's like saying water industry.
If it is addressing the real problems and not diverting the root cause, then it can be the solution. But it should address actually the real cause, not the. It should not be solely for the purpose of economic.
Why there is no people's movement to against the government for making them accountability?
People in India are becoming more literate, and as you know that the government delivers only when there is pressure from the people. When people demand, government is bound to come up with the solutions and all. So as up till now, the people of India were not that much aware or enlightened, but now over the past 5 to 10 years, people have become more aware, and that is why we are seeing that in last 4 or 5 years, people have come out on the streets and are demanding a better and quality air and environment. So awareness was missing, and with growing literacy, education and connectedness with the world, in the times to come, we will get a better environment.
What are the colors that has been used to indicate severe, moderate, extremely severe? And why colors are used?
Basically, it's a 6 color coding, but I'm not sure that which color corresponds to it.
And why color coding is done?
Color coding, I think, sir, it serves purpose of that since every person is not literate, so it can cater to that. Other than that, there might be other reasons, and there must be other reasons, but I'm not sure of it.
How would you implement international treaties and agreement to mitigate the air pollution of Delhi? For you are Secretary of Delhi, then how will you use international agreement and treaties to mitigate air pollution?
I think it is not only for the Delhi to implement, it is for the whole country and it is a whole.
But how would you use if you are Secretary of Delhi?
Yes, by policy measures and schemes, that is that what I am asking. How?
Example like
CDM,
like we
clean
have
development
annual
mechanism.
target to implement drip irrigation differently to solve water crisis. How we can take international help to solve Delhi air pollution problem.
Okay, be more specific. How you use the provision of Paris Agreement or a Kyoto Protocol to mitigate air pollution? Or what provision you will use?
In order to ensure quality air to everyone, we should take each and every provisions that is there. For example, we have provisions regarding to HCFCs that talks about in Montreal Kyoto Protocol. We have ozone depletion and all. So, but ozone depletion and all is not under our ambit. So, as far as Paris Protocol is concerned, the nation has set the target of reducing our GDP consumption by 33 to 35%. So, in order that we can play a part, it's a national target. So, in that we can play a part. I can play a part.
That's what I'm asking. How you can play a part?
Basically, everything drops down to awareness generation and implementing the projects on the ground level. So for that, I will direct the Environmental Ministry, the Transportation Department, the Air Department, Air Pollution Control Department, and all to undertake the whatever policies that they can undertake and technological intervention in this regard.
We take help of the green development.
Yeah, CDM. For
financing of the projects we need for purifying the air.
Then there is also platform for sharing of information of the World Bank project. So you can implement that in.
What measures can be taken to reduce stubble burning in Punjab and Haryana?
We are already taking some steps, like we have promoted Good Harvester, which does away with the problem of burning the harvest, because then planting of seeds can be done without removing the stubble. So that's Happy Seeder is one of the alternative. Other than that, finding the farmers for stubble burning, that's the other thing which is being done. Apart from these two, I'm not sure what
But
other
farmers, they do not want to shift to these machines, and then farmers do not want to shift to these machines.
What
Happy
is the
seeder.
major problem in
Because-
for farmers using these Happy Seeder machines? Why they are still not using it?
They do not see the pollution logic, they see the economic logic. So how are you going to make them look at the problem of really the stubble burning? Because for them as one farmer, the stubble burning or contributing to pollution is not a problem at all. For them, paying for Happy Seeders or alternative mechanisms is a real problem. So how will you address that with a
One thing is that why the problem of the stubble burning is there, that if you use the wheat stubble, then it is not a problem because it is palatable to the animals. But if you use this rice, the silica content is more, so animals are not able to digest. So for that we need to first, it is not means directly you can't go and find a farmer, because a farmer is poor and he also means not able to pay the fine. So one thing we can do is that we can incentivize that Happy Seeder technology and machines, And secondly, we can also set up this biofuel plants and waste to energy plants that is. So one of the ways that.
Obviously, how much can you incentivize these happy seeder machines? Like one of the farmers said that a matchbox costs him just 2 rupees. A matchbox is just 2 rupees, and he can just use a matchstick and just burn
Plus,
it.
it's only going to be used once in a year.
If I were to draw a parallel, that we are the world over, the world community is incentivizing or contributing to protect the Amazon forest. Means we are paying so that the lungs of the earth can survive. Similarly, Delhi government can set aside a part of its budget in order to incentivize. That can be alternative.
Don't you think that hampers the fiscal federalism? Because Delhi setting up a separate fund and giving fund to other states so that they can incentivize the PC machine is a violation of fiscal federalism.
That is a violation, but at the end of the day, who wants good air? It's Delhi. It is for their benefit that they will have to pay a cost.
Pollution has no barriers. We have seen recently Delhi pollution moving southwards also in other areas also. So don't you think Delhi pollution is as such overrated? We should have a more comprehensive idea of pollution across India.
Yes, there needs to be a comprehensive idea, but the thing is, we have to, on the basis of ability to pay. Punjab, of course, the farmers, they are not in a position to pay for the happy seeder amount. So they need to be incentivized. So on the basis that since Delhi people are more affluent, so they can set aside
Punjab
more
farmers are
tax.
affluent.
Don't you think Punjab government, which gives a subsidy on electricity, which also leads to groundwater prices, that subsidy can be used to incentivize happy seeder machine?
Yes, that can be. But what am I suggesting is that the only Punjab should not take the front of all of it, that incentivizing. Delhi can share. I didn't say Delhi should entirely subsidize, entirely fund that happy seeder. So everyone should take a consultative and everyone should put in their own part. Everyone should take the financial burden of it, so that the quality around the Delhi that can improve.
Can you suggest a solution without involving the Delhi government?
See, awareness generation, because at the end of the day, Punjab will also over the period of time will face a brunt of it. So awareness generation is the key to it. Sustainable development and all awareness generation regarding these things can be done. But Delhi government has a role to play, that I feel.
I think amendment to that Conservation of Subsoil Act plus MSP to other crops, these two measures can help.
Okay, we are running time, so let me cut at this. And instead of going with
We can use the community whole areas we can.
Go ahead. Sorry. So instead of going by the questions, I'll sum it up, right? So one of the major thing with the media, the discourse that has been created is the problem is put on stubble burning, and that I can see it very well. Stubble burning is not the only problem, right? There are multiple problems towards it. Looking into Delhi, Delhi is one of the major industrial corridor. It's an industrial complex. So if you say the 20 cities, out of the 20 cities, 13 or 14 cities that has been ranked, first city comes in Gurgaon, Faridabad, Noida, that goes on. All your surrounding areas of Delhi, NCR regions has been highly polluted. Your industrial complex is a major one, first point. Second, construction has been increasing a lot, as he was pointing out. The change in lifestyle and the construction has been increasing a lot. And with that, construction debris comes into the picture. Two, and as you have been seeing about it, crackers, the Diwali. And if by any chance, any of your geography, we have one theory in Roslows, we used to say that age of mass consumption. Delhi is like a point within India which is the age of mass consumption. They consume a lot. And there is an expenditure, consumer-oriented, expenditure-oriented market. Amount of savings, what the population does in Delhi is very lesser because you spend a lot, right? That comes into the picture. And there is a large amount of crackers, bursting, celebration. This generation all across the world is more of expenditure one. So more crackers burst, and that too happens before it, right? So one, we speak about the industries. Power plants comes into the picture, right? There are 34 power plants in Delhi.